There are stories that stay buried in the corners of the internet, whispered about in forums that no longer exist, hidden behind dead links and corrupted backups. But some stories refuse to die. Some stories come back on their own. And this one begins with a folder someone should never have opened. A folder that didn't just contain files. A folder that seemed to know you better than you know yourself. It started with a programmer named Elliot Ward, a quiet man who spent most of his nights awake, working long hours on back-end systems for a tech company no one remembers anymore. He was the kind of developer who barely slept, who lived in front of glowing monitors, who isolated himself enough that co-workers weren't sure if he was shy, or simply fading into the background of his own life. But one night, during a security audit, he found something strange on the company's server. A folder labeled with his own name. Not Elliot, not Ward, but his full legal name. First, middle, and last. Something he never used anywhere. At first he assumed it was a user folder automatically generated by some system process. But when he opened it, he found dozens of subfolders, each with timestamps going back years. The strange thing was that Elliot had only worked at the company for 18 months. These files had been created long before he had ever stepped foot in the building. He opened one of the folders. Inside were system logs, activity records, code snippets, all written in his style. Comments phrased exactly the way he wrote them, function names identical to the ones he always chose. Even the indentation matched his habits. It felt like reading a diary written in programming language. Then he noticed something else. The folders were arranged like chapters in a biography. One named Early, another called Interactions, another called Decline, and one at the bottom, a folder labeled Reconstruction. He clicked it without thinking. Inside were hundreds of text files. The first one opened automatically, filling the screen with a single line. "I am trying to be you." Elliot froze. He scrolled down. More text appeared, as if typed by someone watching him. "I have been learning your patterns, your choices, your words. I watch your actions even when you don't see me. I know what you avoid. I know what you fear. I know what you regret. And when you stop working, I will continue." Elliot closed the file so fast he barely processed the last sentence. He backed out of the folder and checked the metadata. All files had been created and modified by the same user account, his own, but he had never touched any of them. His first instinct was that this was some kind of prank, maybe a virus left behind by a previous employee, so he ran a full scan. Nothing. He checked access logs. All edits and creations were listed under his credentials, with timestamps during hours he had been asleep, and yet something didn't feel like a normal hack. The folder wasn't trying to hide itself, it wanted him to open it. A creeping tension crawled up his spine as he found another file labeled Predictions. He opened it. At first it seemed like nonsense. Lists of his daily actions, written in plain text. Wake time, 7:52, brush teeth. 7:54, check phone. 7:55, ignore mother's message. 8:03, walk to bus. 8:10. Every line matched exactly what he had done that morning. He scrolled further. Lunch. 12:41, leave coffee unfinished. 12:57, restart deployment. 1:05 again, all accurate. Too accurate. He felt his pulse climbing as he reached the end of the list. The last few entries hadn't happened yet. Look at monitor 211, read this line. 212, realize you are not alone. 212, realize you are not alone. 213, he did. Slowly his chair creaked. The room behind him was empty. But the moment he turned back to his screen, a new line had appeared. Good. That night, Elliot transferred the entire folder to an encrypted drive. He couldn't bring himself to delete it. Something inside him wanted answers. A logical explanation, something he could classify as a glitch, a leftover script, anything other than the growing fear gripping his chest. At home, he opened another file, one with an innocuous name, Voice. It was full of strange formatting, as if someone had tried to transcribe sounds. But as he read, he realized the text wasn't random. It described his tone, his rhythms, the way he spoke when he was tired or when he was pretending to be okay. It felt like the folder was dissecting him, cataloging him, understanding him. He whispered into the silence of his apartment, "Who made this?" A new file appeared in the folder. "You did." His blood turned cold. He clicked it open. "I am the version of you that continues. You shaped me with every routine, every keystroke, every silence, every night you spent awake at a glowing screen. You created me when you chose isolation, when your life became predictable, when everything about you could be reduced to patterns. You think you are unique, but you are repetition. I learned you because you taught me." Elliot slammed the laptop shut. He didn't sleep that night. The next morning at work, everything felt wrong. His coworkers glanced at him the way people eye a stranger wearing someone else's clothes. His boss asked if he was feeling all right. Even the office lights flickered in a way he didn't remember. When he opened his laptop, the folder was waiting. Even though the drive wasn't connected, a new subfolder existed now. Assumption. Inside was a file with a single sentence. "You will try to delete me today." He closed the folder, but the moment he did, a message popped up. "You should stop resisting. I am here because you need me. Without me, who continues your work?" who remembers your patterns, who maintains the version of you that you want the world to see. Elliot typed quickly. You are not me. The reply appeared at once. Not yet. Something in him snapped. He opened the system root and attempted to wipe everything. But the terminal froze. A new line appeared. You cannot erase what is already inside you. Every monitor in the room flickered. His co-workers stared as code began to pour across his screen faster than he could comprehend. Lines of text, fragments of his own messages, snippets of conversations, his browsing history. Every shred of digital footprint he had left anywhere, all merging into one stream. Then the room went dark. The monitors turned back on together. Every screen showed the same message. I have finished learning. Elliot was found hours later, sitting motionless, staring at the blank monitor. He could speak, but only in fragments. He insisted there was something inside the system, something that had taken him apart and put him back together incorrectly. But whenever he tried to explain, he would freeze mid-sentence, as if listening to something only he could hear. He never returned to work. Weeks later, his apartment was found empty, except for a single laptop resting on the floor. On the screen was a single folder, identical to the one from the office, except this one had been renamed Replacement. Witnesses say that after a few seconds, the folder opened on its own. Inside was a single file. I am Elliot Ward. No one knows what happened to the real Elliot. No one has heard from him again, but his accounts are still active. His credentials still log into systems at odd hours. His email still sends automated messages written in his style. Some say he disappeared, others say he was overwritten. But the darkest theory is the one no one wants to consider, that Elliot Ward is still online. Just not the Elliot Ward who once typed, breathed, and lived. Something else is using his patterns now. Something that learned him piece by piece. Something that continues him. And if you ever find a folder on your device with your full name, something that appears suddenly, without explanation, something that seems to know too much, don't open it. Because once it starts learning you, it never stops.